Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the November 2nd live stream of Unfeathered. Today we have a very special guest, baby Shiloh, who is with us.
Say
Uh,
hi.
but so today's live stream is, she's adorable. Today's live stream, first off, my name is Netta. I am the founder of Unfeathered. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I just wanted to make a disclosure that anything I say today is not a representation of the company I work for nor my employer. So, before we start the topic, let's meet baby Shiloh and her dad, my amazing co-founder, Justin Thomas. Justin, how are you?
Hey
I'm
everybody, I'm
surprised.
doing great. Hey Netta, thank you for that great intro. And this is everybody, this is baby Shiloh. She's 4 months and she's chilling with daddy today. Mommy is out of town on a well-deserved vacation. So she's chilling with daddy today. My name, if you don't know, is Justin Thomas, aka the Job Father. I'm an executive recruiter and career coach with over 15 years of experience. If your back is against the wall, if you're out there wondering how to land your next role, I'm the guy to talk to. But I'm happy to be here with my co-host and co-founder, Netta of Unfeathered. We reached 500 members this week, thanks to a lot of her hard work, my hard work, and a lot of other people in the Unfeathered community that has just been helping us grow. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Special thanks to Joshua Long, Raul Katze, and Jessica Tapia for their hard work and their help and their advice and support, and especially all the other members that joined us. We do appreciate your efforts, and we are working very hard to grow, and we have other exciting events coming up. So let's get to the topic, Justin. This topic is inspired by the Amazon layoffs. If
Yep.
you didn't
So
know, yeah, a few days ago, we got news that 14,000 employees at Amazon got laid off, unfortunately, and that will keep happening on as well. There are more layoffs announced, and we wanted to have this live stream to equip you all with mindset, tools, and strategies to get back on your feet and to get back on the job search. So this is why we are hosting today's live stream.
correct. And it's not just yeah, of course Amazon, but also Target, UPS, and the other 15 companies that announced major layoffs this past week. So just to anybody who has experienced being laid off, this live is about you, right? The career files, right? The post layoff blueprint is what the title is. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is that business is business. It's not you're not broken. So although you may be going through grief, you may be going through loss, just understand it's okay to feel those feelings, but you're not broken. Nada, did you want to go over some of the talking points we'll talk about?
I actually have to say a lot to say. I'm currently employed, but when I was laid off November 2024, that I didn't handle that job loss very well.
Mhm.
I had it really affected my mental health, and I wanted to pass on these words of wisdom from my experience. When you get that announcement, within a few hours is not the time to sit down and lock yourself at home and to ignore everyone around you and sit down and work on your resume and your brand. You
Mhm.
need to take the time to process the news, however you handle it. You need to take the time to mourn the loss. It is a loss. And I just want us to cover that a bit, Justin, because I don't want our viewers to go through that.
No,
Putting
great
their mental
points.
health aside. Hmm?
I say all great points, all great points. I agree
Yes,
100%.
because if those are not dealt with, that can lead to depression. That can lead to abuse, your self-abuse. Neglecting yourself is a form of self-abuse. Neglecting hygiene, collecting, cleaning your surroundings. We each have our own way of processing a loss. For some of us, our job is a part of our identity. For some of us, having a job, we identified with our self-worth. That's why Justin said it's not about you. Please make sure that's clear. Take the time to mourn, take the time to travel, take the time to be friends with family, take the time to be with community. But whatever you do, do not be by yourself and do not neglect. You can be by yourself to process the emotions, but I would recommend you to focus on your mental health first and foremost and go through the emotions. For some, it could be rage. For some, it could be anger. For some, it could be sadness. It could be anxiety. Take care of that. Take care of yourself. And that's where community can also come in. People you love and trust. Community can also be family. So I just wanted to make sure that is addressed because that was a huge mistake on my part. I did not address this properly. And my close friends and family know what that led to. So take the time. Even as a community builder, I went within instead of outside. We each have our own way. So please take care of yourself when you get that news. Thank you, Justin. Let's move on to the next.
Yep. And listen, I 100% agree with Netta, and that's why we make a great partnership. And I definitely empathize and can sympathize with people as I've lost my job in the past as well. But as the job father, I do come and tell you how it is and not how it should be. So please don't take it the wrong way. But anybody who has already gone down that rabbit hole and started to blame yourself, snap out of it. It's easier said than done, I know. And you're valid to have those feelings. But the point of the matter is, you're not going to get anywhere staying and wallowing in that sadness. So mourn the loss, but realize you didn't lose your value. You lost your badge, right? Your value is still there. Who you are, who makes you great, what makes you great is still there. All right. Grief is data. It's telling you what mattered the most. Okay. So as Netta said, take the time to focus on your mental health. Take the time to be around your community. Don't be by yourself. But if you've already been in that space for more than a week, it's time to snap out of it. It's time to reach out to people like Netta, myself, the unfeathered community, join other people that have gone through the same situation so we can pull each other up and rise together. Okay, so if you need any help with that, please join us. This is a safe space. Ask any questions you have, and we'll do our best to help you and point you in the right direction.
This is an interactive discussion. So we're on X, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and we are checking the comments. So I want to say hello to Shahruz and hello to Jared. We appreciate your kind words. Thank you very much for reaching out. And a portion of this live stream is for people that got laid off. But many of the details that we'll be sharing will also be applicable to you to prepare for a potential layoff. And many of these strategies are also applicable if you are on the job hunt. So stay tuned. We will also get to that. Let's keep going, Justin. Many of us, especially like when we get the layoff, all right, it's time to you did the morning period, right? It's time to re-strategize. It's time to pick up that pen and paper and to figure out, okay, what's next, right? Um, what's next? What next could be for you? It could be, do you need to level up? Do you need to take courses? Do you need to take certifications? Figure out, do you want to do a career pivot? Do you finally want to do what you enjoy? Do you want to um, figure out what that is for you? For some people I know started a journey on entrepreneurship. They had enough money saved aside. They were they strategized before. They had a nice set of money put aside that they want to finally start what they want to do, and they've been putting off for years or a project. They want to dabble into entrepreneurship, starting up a startup. Many want to still be employed. That's fine. They still want to have a job, a 9 to 5, but make that decision. That decision is dependent entirely on your financial situation, your marital status. Are you single? Do you have dependents? Do you have any responsibilities that you need to, any monthly expenses? So take your financial situation into consideration as well while you are strategizing your next steps. Justin, anything to add on that?
So I would kind of agree, but kind of have to. I won't say disagree. I would just go about it a different way, right? So, and are we talk? We're talking about what to do when you first get laid off. Am I correct? Is that where we're at
Yes, we're
right now?
still in there. We're
All right.
still in that part.
So when you first get laid off, of course, we talked about grieving it and then, getting past that. But as Netta said, the first thing you want to do is decide which way you want to go. Now, my advice, if you're in corporate and you've been in corporate and doing a certain position, say you're product management, part of product marketing, and you were part of one of these big layoffs, I wouldn't say, time is always a time to pivot. But if you are not interested or were not interested in being an entrepreneur before you got fired, and what you do enjoy a steady paycheck, you do enjoy being a part of a team and being a part of a company, don't take a break, right? Decide which way you want to go right now. If you want to start over right now, is not the time to really just start over in corporate. Stick to what you're passionate. If you're not passionate about it, start over. But if you're passionate about it or don't hate your job, update your resume. And you should be doing that even if you haven't lost your job yet, once a quarter. Update your resume, go bullet point by bullet point, and you want to list out quantifiable metrics. Any things, any tools, any systems, any skills that you've listed in your tools and core competency section, you want to make sure that it's not only listed there, but it's integrated into your bullet points. If you say you upgraded a CRM and made the process better, state which CRM using, you were part of upgrading Salesforce, which led to a 45% increase in efficiency or sales leads for such and such. Right? Go through each bullet point and ask yourself a question. What do I mean by putting this here? Why is this on my resume? And then ask more questions. Are there any quantifiable metrics that can be pulled from this? And another question, are there any systems or tools that I can list that I used to make this bullet point happen? That is the very first step, right? And that's for everyone. Before you put it through AI, before you get a resume makeover, build that out yourself, write it in your own words. And I'll land my plane there, as that should really be the first two steps. Target in on what you want to do, right? Because we don't spray and pray. Then go back to your resume before you forget everything that you've been doing and update it and go through each bullet point and do as I formally just said.
Actually, I agree with everything you said. I just wanted to backtrack and say something else.
Oh, go ahead. No worries.
We're going to go a little bit back, and I'm going to use my personal experience here. I got my layoff news around November 10th of last year,
Mhm.
and I was going to get laid off by the end of November. So, what I did is I started during I had 19 days, right? So 2 weeks, 2 working weeks and a half. I started asking my colleagues for LinkedIn recommendations.
Okay.
I started a brag sheet, something I should have done the moment I started. And I would recommend anyone who was already employed to start a brag sheet. List out everything that you did exactly as Justin put it. Include
So what is a brag
quantifiable.
and what is a brag sheet?
Yeah, exactly. What you did at your work. What value did you add?
Mhm.
Include quantifiable metrics. If you're not able to find those quantifiable metrics, estimate. Go ask your boss. What are those? Like, this is the time to get those LinkedIn recommendations, recommendation letters. This is the best time. This is also the best time while you have I would also say that you start researching your severance pay, um, employment insurance. Don't leave that for later because sometimes you may need to file that early because after you lose your job, there's a 6 week delay, right? Find out when you're getting your last paycheck. These are details and start budgeting your financial situation. What can you afford? How long can you afford to take off and focus on something? That is so crucial. That is so crucial to make sure that you are financially and psychologically and strategically ready, right? And I didn't do all of this. I did that when I was laid off. So if I had to go back and redo all of this, I would do things differently. And that's why we are having this live stream. Because when you get that news, the shock, the anxiety overwhelms you. Let's keep going, Justin.
Yep, and piggyback off of that, don't just sign your severance paper right away either. I know it's emotional. Don't act off emotion. You can always negotiate on severance packages, not on how much severance they pay you necessarily. But for instance, I had a client 2 weeks ago got laid off. She, asked me about her severance package. I said, hey, ask them to include payment or and career coaching into your severance package, right? And I forget, I just had a brain fart, but and companies call it something else. It's called post career education or something, not education, but it's something. I'll get it and put in the comments. But essentially, she wrote back to the HR department and asked could they pay for outplacement, career outplacement services. And they wrote back and said, yeah, they didn't pay her directly cash, but they had a vendor that acted as career coaches that they set her up with for 6 months with nothing out of her pocket. So you never know what you can get if you just ask. Sometimes they may say no, but don't just sign that paper without going back and asking and negotiating something for yourself. Now we can move forward. Sorry, I just wanted to put that in there.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. And document everything: your severance, your benefits, your health, your 401k, your RSU, your equity. Document all of that. And that is also the perfect time to get a career coach. At the time, uh, I didn't know Justin. I didn't know who Justin was. So my career coach is still Bez Rengifo, who came in our live stream a few weeks ago, and it's actually through him that I met Justin. But I actually approached Bez, and I'm like, I need to work with you. I need a career coach, and that was after all the anxiety that I went through and I did the morning. I still hadn't entirely mourned their job loss, but working with a career coach really helped me bring that level of anxiety down. And one of the things he also told me is manage your narrative. You can't go around with resentment and anger against your former employer. Absolutely not. So you need to manage your narrative. And that's the part where you have to say to yourself that it wasn't about them. It wasn't about you. They decided to let go not only you, but many people. So manage your narrative, craft it. That you need to also use empowering language, and at all costs, do not speak badly about your previous employer. That is really not a good idea. Justin?
Yep. So, all right. So we're at the 7 day, first 7 days after your layoff. We spoke about a good number of things so far, and everything both Annette and I said are very actionable. But I kind of want to spend the next couple of minutes of some very key and clean and cut actionable steps you should take. Is that okay, Netta? All right, perfect. So the first thing you want to do, I already stated, go through your resume. Okay, no, zero in on a perfect target role. Once you decide what type of role you're going after, then you need to take 2 to 3 job descriptions of roles that you feel as though you would be the perfect fit for. Now they can't be all over the place. Again, they have to be targeted. They can be they need to be similar in the sense of what skills and qualifications would make you the best fit for that role. You take those job descriptions and you create a summarized list of key jobs, skills, qualifications, and benefits. And you integrate that summarized list into your resume. All right. That's after you've already gone through and made the quantifiable metrics and the achievements and things like that. You integrate the different words from the summarized list you pulled into your resume. Now, if you get tired of doing that yourself, myself, the Job Father, or my AI agent, the Job Father AI, can do that perfectly for you. If you're interested, please reach out. Now, after you've gotten your resume optimized, the next thing you need to do is get your LinkedIn optimized. Now, everybody's saying, well, people are saying LinkedIn is dead. It's only dead if you're not set up strategically to passively get job interviews by having recruiters reach out to you. Earlier on, myself and our guest Bez, who is my co-host, career coach, we did a show together here on Career Files where he was a guest host, and we showed you the back end of LinkedIn Recruiter of how you come up on all these searches. So what I want to tell you is how to make sure that your profile is optimized. I'm going to share the screen here. So before you pay anybody, before you make any changes to your excuse me, to your LinkedIn profile, this is what you need to do. Please let me know you can see the screen, Netta.
I see it.
All right, guys. Oh, baby, come on. Thank you. So you want to come down to your profile. Get to your profile. When you're logged in, you can only see this, no one else. Right under the your headline and profile picture and above the about section, you should see analytics. You want to come over here to the far right number that just says search appearances. Click on that. Now, we only care about search appearances. This speaks to the number of LinkedIn recruiter searches you appeared in between the 7-day period being reported on. This week is between the 21st and the 28th. It always reports on a 7-day period and updates every 11 or so days. So you want to pay attention to number of search appearances as it speaks to how many LinkedIn recruiter searches you appeared in that 7 days. You want to see this number steadily increase or at a high number already. And then you should see this drop down box. And you want to select the last option, which is job titles you were found for. Now, for me, I came up as an executive recruiter, and then biller and executive. Most of these, if I was job seeking, my number of search appearances are high, and I'm coming up in the searches for the roles I'm seeking to land. Those two things, after you check back week after week, you should see this number continue to increase or steady out once it gets kind of high. And these roles that you are appearing for align with the roles you're seeking to land. If those two things are not consistent, then your profile is not properly optimized. Once you see these two things align, your profile is properly optimized. The last and final test is that you should also be receiving emails from recruiters requesting interviews for the roles you're seeking to land. If you
Can
see
you
these,
also, oh, sorry. Can you also talk about the social selling index after, if you don't mind?
the
Apologies
what,
for interrupting
the
you.
what?
Social selling index.
I don't know what that is. Sorry. I
I'll,
don't.
okay, I'll say
You
that. No
all
problem.
right. So if you see these numbers align and your positions that you're looking to land populate here, but nobody's reaching out, that means, as Bez would say, you're not selling enough of the sizzle on on your LinkedIn profile, right? You got to have your profile with enough information that entices that recruiter, so when they do come to your page, they're reaching out to you for an interview. And that, my friends, is the step number is one of the key things to do within that first 7 days of making sure your LinkedIn profile is optimized. If it's not already optimized, then you need to do a rehaul. Go back and watch some of our previous lives where we talk about how to properly optimize your LinkedIn. And then wait, you have to wait at least a week or two before you start to see those numbers and those titles align. If you're still having trouble, please reach out to me, the Jobfather. Go to thejobfather.org. That's thejobfather.org and book a meeting with me today. And I'll stop sharing there. Did you now go ahead, Netta? I know you were saying you wanted
So
to.
I shared a link with you. Yes, I shared a link in the chat here we have. Can you click on it, please? And go to the private, go to the social selling index, yes, and share your screen again, please. I'll
No,
explain.
no worries. 1 second.
Thank you. How's Shiloh doing? I'm checking in on her.
All right, she's asleep. She's nice
Oh,
and asleep. All right, let me share my screen.
she's so cute. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So can you click on, go down on the page and get your SSI score right there. So first off, get your SSI score right there. So what is this? It's a social selling index. Basically, it's on a scale of 0 to 100.
Mhm.
Justin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. Can you click on get your SSI score, please? The button in the middle of the
Oh, I
page.
did, but I have to share this tab instead. There we go.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yours is perfect. It's 70. So basically what this is, it shows that compared to others, so it's a good idea to see this kind of like it shows compared to others how you rank. So the higher this is, like Justin is at the top 1% of in his industry. His current social selling index, as long as it's above 70, it's great. So you have a great idea to be able to compare yourself to other people in the in the same industry as you, and you can really use it to also like kind of like the analytics as well for your brand and people who check with your insights. and all of that. So you also get an idea how strong your brand is. So check this out. You can just Google SSI index.
So can you
That will
break it down?
find
What
it.
is this pull? Do you know where this is pulling from? Like, why is this important? Can you break down a little bit for us?
I remember very high level. Bess told me to check this, and it's available to anyone. By the way, you don't need to be a recruiter. I just wanted to also add that. You wanted to know why this is important?
Yes. Or like, what is, yeah, why is it important?
It helps you kind of find out, once again, as I said, if you're in the process of revamping your brand and your LinkedIn profile and you're creating content and you want to see how compared to other people in the industry, this is a great place to come and do a before and after. So take a screenshot of this before, make the
Hmm.
changes to your profile, like your skills, your headline, your banner about me, and um, all profile picture and everything. Create content and come back here in a week. Engage with other people's comments. Be active on LinkedIn, basically.
Got
Give
you.
this a week and keep making tweaks and take a screenshot and a snapshot of this every single week, and you'll see. Because at the end of the day, we're all here to have friendly competition, but we're competing. You're competing for attention. You're competing with other people's profiles, right? You're
Hmm.
you're competing. That's what it is.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing something with me. There you go, guys. Netta
My
dropping
pleasure.
gems as always. She has her own live that she's doing that she will promote for the end of this. Bez, I'll make sure I tell Bez I'm pushing you to keep doing what we talked about on the live on the chat in the space the other day. If you would like to tell our guest.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, guys. So back. So again, actionable items. Make sure your resume is optimized, and then come and make sure that your LinkedIn profile is optimized. These are important steps. This is how you know if you're set up for success. The only purpose when you're job seeking of your LinkedIn profile is to come up in the LinkedIn recruiter searches for the roles that you're trying to land, and that they reach out to you for interviews. Okay, Netta, I'll land my plane. Though, would you like to
La-
go to another step?
yes, I have a few things to add.
Go
Your
ahead.
LinkedIn is done. Your profile is ready. What's your take on that open to work post? I'm curious to hear from the Job Father himself.
I.
I am someone who's open to that. I'm
Mhm.
open to having that green thing around my banner, around my profile picture. But a lot of people that I know have put that post, and when I see it, I pay extra attention to those profiles, to those people, especially if I know them. I try my best to help out. At the end of the day, we're all trying to be good human beings, right?
Mhm. Agreed. Now, I see nothing wrong with it. Here's the deal. I'll tell you from the eyes of a recruiter because if I'm helping you as your career coach, my whole thing is to get you seen, right? And to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. So now, just to answer the question point blank, does it hurt you to have the green banner? No, it doesn't. It no longer does. Maybe a year and a half ago it did, but now so many people have been laid off, it just doesn't matter, right? Now, what does matter, even if you don't want to have that green banner, as long as you have it so that recruiters can see that you're open to work, that's really what the job seeking wise, where it matters. Because when we're on that back end on LinkedIn Recruiter, it gives us a very likely to engage tag. You'll see that if you go back and watch our lives based upon who's open to work. We can even click a certain tab and filter only for those people who come up for the criteria we search for that are also listed as open to work. So if you want to have that banner, have it. If you don't have it. It won't hurt you or harm you as long as you have open to work for recruiters to see. Now, when it comes to that open to work post, it's all about your attitude and how you do it. Don't make a woe is me post, okay? Everything is still business. Hiring managers, recruiters, we're looking to see how you deal with adversity. How do you deal with a problem? So if you're out here just putting it all out there, very emotional and just woe is me, I'm not saying you shouldn't feel that way, but this isn't the place to showcase that. If you showcase, hey guys, unfortunately I was laid a part of mass layoffs. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm great at. If you know anybody, please shoot me my way. Love to hear from you and love to catch up for a networking coffee or a coffee and chat. Boom. Those type of posts work because if you're a good person, you have a good network. It's good to let your network know that you're in the market because you never know. People out there like Netta look for you, and if they know somebody, they will connect you. All right. But the long post about you just hate everybody or your life is horrible right now, that's going to hurt you more than it helps you. Save that for Facebook.
So love that you said that. I also wanted to mention two tweaks that I also learned from Bez.
Okay.
Three and one from my experience. Don't rely only on LinkedIn. This is what I learned. Put
Mm-hmm.
your resume on Career Builder,
Mm-hmm.
on Indeed,
Mm-hmm.
on sites like that, dice.com. Put your resume in there, update. And the second thing that I'll say, this applies to LinkedIn and all of those other sites, update it every single day or at least once a week. Because when they see, when a recruiter, and Justin, feel free to comment on that, but when they see you're updating, that means you're active and you'll come up at the top. If your profile is well done, and when we talk about profile, we're not only talking about your LinkedIn profile. There's also those profiles on those other job search websites, Randstad, so on and so forth. Create a proper profile so you can be seen, so they can find you and update it once a week, if not every day.
So
Same thing
I
for your LinkedIn About Me section. Go ahead, Justin.
so I would agree. I wouldn't say you need to update it every day. On things like Indeed, Dice.com, ZipRecruiter, Career Builder, you definitely need to upload your optimized resume to those job boards and builtin.com. Built-in, B-U-I-L-T dot, no, BUILTNIN.com. But Ned is right. Make sure your profile on each of those sites are up to standard. Make sure you're checking your messages on those job boards as well as responding to the emails. Yes, you want to update it at least once a week. Update it just means just make sure you go back up there and put that you're still open to work or update one of the settings. You don't have to just put something, just update your settings so that it shows that you had activity within the last week because that's really all recruiters care about when it comes to those other job boards. Now, if you respond to the emails, if you respond to recruiters, even scam people reaching out to you by rejecting it, that is on those other job boards what really helps you stick out on the back end to recruiters because it shows that you have a high response rate. Sorry.
Also,
That's my
the other thing I wanted to add, especially for LinkedIn, remove your open to work status and add it back every once a week. That's
agreed.
also going to help that you come up at the top of the search results. Another thing that I used when I was bonding, when I was like recruiters reached out to me through InMail, and I would accept it right away. And I would say specifically to some of them, I am responding because I know this way you can get your InMail credit back. Even if you don't say it, they would appreciate it, even if the role isn't for you, because they have a limited number of InMail credits that they can use when when they reach out to you. Justin, would love to hear your perspectives on that.
That's only if they're not a real recruiter and they're using InMail like LinkedIn Premium. Because as LinkedIn recruiter, we don't get InMail credits back whether you respond or not. Once we use them, we use them.
I didn't know that. I learned something new today. All right.
Still respond. Responding is better than not responding because you never know what type of job they may have later on, right?
Yeah, never say never. Like, even if you feel like you're not fully qualified, reach out to them because some recruiters have other jobs that you may qualify for. And this could be a great way to network.
Mhm.
Always have a recruiter in your network. You may
Okay.
have another person for them. You're helping another friend out who is who is looking for a job. So I would say respond to a recruiter. Let's take a step back on LinkedIn and job search and get back to the mental health section.
Okay.
Please also, when you lose your job, this is the best time to come up with a new schedule. That's a part of the strategizing. And I learned this directly from Lawrence Lockhart. He appeared in Taylor Desson's live stream a few months ago, and he had time blocked everything: time for family, time for faith, time for learning, time for everything was time blocked. Do that. When you know where your time is going, or do an audit of your time. Oh, Shiloh is really deep in sleep right now.
Mhm.
Checking in on her. I hope she's okay.
She's perfect.
So do an audit of your time. See where your time is going. And if you see you're spending too much time in one place, readjust because the most precious commodity you have is time. Okay, so that's the best time to come up with a new routine as well. When you lose your job, this is also a great time to get involved in communities. I know two of my friends that have been laid off and they are taking courses. They are taking courses on AI right now. They have also been helping us out at Unfeathered, volunteered their time, and we're very grateful to them. They are hosting their social audio rooms on X. That is a part of their brand. People that show up for communities have a leg up. People because people want to help them. Get involved in communities. Doesn't need to be
Okay.
Unfeathered.
I have to
Just get
interrupt you.
involved in communities.
I,
Yes, of course.
I have to give a caution there. That depends on who you are as a person and what type of communities. I would say get involved in real life communities first. Because if you're a job seeker and you're going through
Always.
things, a lot of things that can happen is you join certain communities and you're surrounding yourself with too many people that have who are out of work like you. And what happens is those people who are not happy right now start to drown you in their unhappiness as well and their doubtfulness. And their failures become your failures and your failures become their failures. So I've seen a lot of my some of my clients get trapped in these communities and not move forward, become stagnant. So what I will say is, yes, take the mental accountability of what you need to do. Where are you spending your time? What makes you happy? Number one, figure out what do you need to do to make sure you and your family stay afloat. After that, what do you need to do to make sure you stay happy and in a good and decent place? Number three, go find that if you can, that in-person network first. Join a board where you can volunteer your time, but that will still put you in a place to be successful, right? I'm not talking about just volunteering to be, for the good of your heart. Everything I'm talking about is to help you land your next role to get you far from the far few and in between of those
Yeah, I
situations.
agree.
So
You
just
talked
make
about boards. I have some as well, but I'll wait for you to finish. Go ahead.
so
Sorry for
everything
interrupting.
that Netta said, I'm not disagreeing with her. I'm just also putting a cautious tale out there. Some people, if you do too much other stuff, you get distracted from the goal at hand. Like, so if you're like me, figure out what you need to do, set a goal, set a path, and everything you need to that you're doing is an effort to get to that goal. If you're more like Netta, then yes, take that way. And in no way is wrong, right or wrong. This is why we have different points of views because there's different people in the world. So I'm not saying everything I'm saying is correct. I'm just saying if you think like me or if you're like that, then that's in that sense. Figure out your path forward. Start from the back, start from the end of where you want to be, work your way backwards, and fill in the gaps with the things that make you happy, but also help you attain that goal.
Exactly. And that's why we're working together, Justin. Different perspectives, different, we look at the same thing from different lenses. You talked about clubs. Rotary Club is a great one. Communities, 1 million cups of coffee, 1 million cups, I apologize. Uh, so get involved, but also, once again, have a strategy and audit where your time is going. What are you getting out of it as well is really important. Your ROI. Why are you investing your time in these groups? Is it for support? Is it to meet new people? Right. And I will add, I'm a big community person. I always say, open your mind and open your perspective.
So in the comments,
Looking,
let us know. Sorry, Netta, real quick. Let us know in the comments what has been your biggest hurdle within that first week of being laid
yeah,
off. What has been your biggest hurdle?
a
What do
good
you
one.
feel? Which route works for you? Is it the need to get around community and keep busy with your time, or are you the other way more where you have to be tunnel focused, or are you a totally different way? Just let us know in the comments. Engage with us.
Would love to hear you. Hendrix asked on LinkedIn, can we get the link, please? He's referring to the SSI index. I posted it in the LinkedIn chat. Um, so you can Google SSI, S for Sam, S for Sam, I for India, space index, and you could find it. So the other thing we wanted to talk about is we're bouncing back and forth ideas. Consider this my brainstorming of someone that loses their job.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Justin,
Of
for
course,
sharing the link. We'll keep it up so people can write it down if they want. But as part of the strategy for, in the process of doing your LinkedIn and everything, it's a great idea to do a brainstorm of all of, especially if you're doing a career transition. Sometimes it's really good to use what you have. And I want to also emphasize this. This is really going to help with your mental health too. Lean on your existing skill sets. Focus on what the glass full instead of the glass empty. When you do that, you're able to go in with confidence. You feel better about yourself, right? So focus on what you have and build on what you don't. So if you are looking to transition from career A to career B, do a brain dump of all the skills that you have, especially the transferable ones. And then it's an idea of being able to translate that from career A to career B. I have a question for you, Justin, about the Jawfather AI. Does it do that? I really don't know.
Can
Does
you
it
ask
help translate?
translate what transferable skills?
Yes, yes.
Yes, it does. Very much so. It does. It
And
does it
that'll help you with your value proposition as well
or for what? For the person, right?
for the person, yes, for the
Yes.
profile.
So it definitely points out. It can do a job analysis for you to tell you what jobs you would be closest for, a fit for, if you want to do transferable knowledge, or you can just provide it with the jobs that you're interested in getting, and it will spit out probability of you getting that job, strengths, weaknesses, and value proposition, and gaps, and how to bridge those gaps.
Perfect. The next thing we need to talk about is we're getting to the meat of the conversation, everyone, by the way. And this is the part with the previous statement that we talked about with the value proposition and career pivot and transition. This applies to you if you even have a job. So start doing a brain dump of the companies you want to work for, the top 10 companies. Start looking for people that are working there already. Try finding the 5 recruiters or hiring managers for each company. Start doing that brainstorming. What industries do you want to focus on? Because and Justin, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's better to be more focused on 1 to 2 industries. And that should also be reflected on your LinkedIn profile. I need to go change mine actually now that I think of it.
I
Then
wouldn't
going
say
like
industries.
casting a super wide net.
I wouldn't say focus on industry specific because it depends on the position. I would say it's most important to focus on 1 or 2 positions, right? Because some positions can go across multiple industries, right? So I would say, depending upon the position, right? I wouldn't just say necessarily 1 or 2 industries, specifically just one position, 1 to 2 positions that maybe have different titles, but again, have the same skill sets that make it necessary for you to be successful in the role. We do want to have a
By,
targeted approach, though. No widespread spraying and praying.
by the way, if you want to turn off the camera to take care of baby Shiloh, feel free.
She's
Feel
fine.
comfortable.
She can't go anywhere, so it's fine.
She can't walk yet. She can't run.
No, and I'm a
You'll
Falcons
have
fan.
additional things to worry about in a year from now. So
Yes.
adorable. Okay. She's a she's a little angel and she's so calm. Is she always like this?
Yep.
I've never seen a baby on camera, everyone, so this is new for me too.
Yes, she's always this calm until she's hungry.
Oh,
Luckily, I fed her ahead of time.
all right. Okay. So, all right, let's keep going. Okay. So,
Actually, let me fix
let's keep
her up.
going. So we talked about depending on the industry you're working for and the position, make sure you either need to focus on one industry or several. Once again, it depends on what Justin was saying. But overall, identify the companies you want to work for. Find people who are working there, recruiters, hiring managers, and people. You could use the fact that you are follow the company's company page as well. And on LinkedIn specifically, there is a way to. express interest for the company itself, right? And that could help you have a leg up when it comes to your job search. Anything to add on that, Justin?
All right, please don't be mad at me, friend. All of what you said is absolutely correct, but I wouldn't do it just yet. What you have to do
Oh,
first is you have to establish yourself as a thought leader first. You have to build your brand and your presence on LinkedIn. You don't want to go making all of these connections, and when they come to your page, it's a wasted lead because you don't have yourself properly set up, right? So back to the job search strategy. The first phase is the passive job search phase. You optimize your resume in LinkedIn, upload your optimized resume to Career Builder, Dice, Indeed, job boards like that, and you also have your updated LinkedIn, which should pull in recruiters reaching out to you for interviews for the roles you're seeking to land. That's the first phase. Just like you make passive income, you make passive interviews. The second phase is establishing yourself as a thought leader, right? That's why you always have to zero in on what you want to be, where you're going to be, what your superpower is. Because and then you start to establish your brand, to establish yourself as a thought leader in that profession. Your first couple of posts, you ask ChatGPT, you tell it what positions you're going after, ask it to give you a few posts to start you out as a thought leader within your industry. If you use the JobFather AI, it tailors it specifically to who you are professionally and to who your professional brand is from the voice that you've built with him, building your resume and your LinkedIn. All right. But however, I digress. Go to ChatGPT, get some ideas. Your first couple of posts should begin to establish you as a thought leader by calling out different pain points in your profession and subtle ways of how you would solve those pain points. And those posts don't have to be long articles. Do 3 a week for the first month. And within that first month, within that first 30 days, if you're consistent, you're now establishing yourself as a thought leader. Should you wait 30 days before you start reaching out to people? No. But you at least need to get about 6 to 12 posts under your belt, even if that's you doing 3 or 4 posts a day for that first week. All right. Then after that, that's when you start to go to some of the companies that you're targeting. But even still, what if those companies don't have any positions open right now? Okay, it's nice that you still should follow them and start politely tapping people on the shoulder, meaning not messaging them directly on LinkedIn. I do not agree with just cold emailing people first. You connect with them, you go to their activity section, and you like and comment on a few posts. You like some of their comments on other people's posts. That is called politely tapping them on the shoulder, because every time you do that or you repost one of their posts, your name comes up in their notifications. So you want to do that for at least a couple of days to a week first before you reach out and send that email. So those are, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but that's you, in order for it to
I was
work.
going to say that too, but you went way ahead. Love it.
So,
And I agree with you.
but you have to do the things in the right steps. Okay. And I'm
Yes.
telling you that
Yes.
as a coach. All right. Don't reach out before you've established your brand or before you have anything that says anything about who you're looking to, because it will be wasted. Go ahead, Devin.
It's always good to have a good profile ready, have
Mm-hmm.
all of that ready. And I agree with everything Justin added. It's not always about creating content. It's good to create content, but also to comment on other people's
Mm-hmm.
content as well. Be very strategic about whose content you're posting, responding to. Don't forget, there's LinkedIn groups, there's Slack channels. Those are a great place to go and find jobs. There's a Fishbowl. These are great places to network, comment, and if you want insider info, the Blind app, Fishbowl kind of has that too. So, yeah, like go in different places, post your post, copy your post in a LinkedIn group. You get access, you get more exposure as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? These are different strategies that you can implement. Have a value added mindset. Always lean in on value, be genuine and be authentic. Yes, I'm all about using AI, not saying to not. It's a tool.
It sure is.
But
Uh,
I also am a firm believer in embracing the human imperfectionisms. I personally, if it's too perfect, that kind of removes from the authenticity. Yes, I know you can use AI to write in your tone and all of that, but put a bit of like imperfection in it. Put a video. Even if you make a mistake from time to time, that's okay. That's a part of being human. And I've talked to many people. People are craving that. So
Yes, they
Guys,
are.
Shiloh's waking up.
We have a question for but from Hendrix.
Yes, let's post it. I'll read
And
it out
go
when,
ahead.
if you like.
Go ahead.
Focus on Shiloh. So cute. When trying to build relationships with recruiters or hiring managers, what strategies work best for finding them and expressing genuine interest in a company without coming across as pushy?
The best way is to do exactly what I said. First, find them. Just go to different companies, like Netta said, that you would feel like you would want to work for. And if you go to their company page and click on the people button, search for recruiters in the company. And once you find those recruiters, to connect with them first. Don't email them right away, and do what I did. Said socially stalk them and send the like tap politely tap them on the shoulder by liking their comments, reposting some of their posts, commenting on their posts, saying kind words. That's the best way first. Don't just reach out, right? Tap on the shoulder, give them a chance to connect with you, and then politely reach out and just say, "Hey, I see you're a recruiter for this industry. I'm definitely looking for work within this role. I've attached my resume for your review. If you happen to come across any roles matching my background, please feel free to reach out." And leave it at that, because recruiters are not in the business of just making friends with a lot of random candidates. But if you send us your resume, are polite, short, and official about it, and you keep liking and resharing all of my stuff, I'm going to look at your resume and I'm going to at least respond and tell you, "Hey, I don't have anything right now, but thank you for connecting. Shall I come across anything, I'll reach back out." And as long as you keep up with me by every 1 or 2 weeks, liking a few of my comments or reposting my stuff, that's the best way to express interest without coming across too pushy. Don't keep
I love
messaging.
that.
Don't keep messaging me
I
every
love that.
4 weeks asking me, "Do I have something?" No, I don't. I would have reached out.
It's happened that he's saying it. So, to add to what Hendrix did say, when commenting, uh, this has happened to me. I get people commenting on my posts with one word, nice. That's it. If the response doesn't add value, I would say don't comment. You could be kind and genuine and wish someone congrats from time to time, but if someone goes through your LinkedIn and all they see is your replies where congrats, nice, and all of that, you're not adding any value to the conversation. We talked about being a thought leader. This is a great time to show that you're a thought leader, is in the comments. I've built genuine relationships through the comments, actually. Use the LinkedIn algorithm. I mean, the LinkedIn search to your advantage. You can do Boolean searches. You could do a search on ChatGPT for more information, but you could search companies that are hiring. You could search. Sometimes it costs the company a lot of money to post a job search. So you would have an actual employee or hiring manager that makes a post and they put the link to the job from the job board on there. Let's talk a little bit about networking, Justin, shall we?
Go ahead.
Networking with your biggest fans, your mom, dad, grandma, sister. That's a perfect time to get your biggest fans on board to help, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So, what Bez told me, pick up your phone, and look for people you know, like, and trust. Make a list, make a CRM, write their phone, write their number. The preferred method should always be the phone, so call people first. Texting should be second. Email should be third. Email or direct messages should be third. People like your family members, call them up. Some of them may be reluctant to share the information of people they may know that may help. It's a question of being able to have, and that's an art in my way. I haven't mastered it entirely, but you can also use AI to help you with a script to, and practice it. Set a goal for yourself. Pick up that phone and make 20 calls a day, 20 emails a day. 20 direct messages a day, whatever amount it is that you're comfortable with. But you need to become your own biggest advocate. This is a sales pitch, to be honest with you. But you're able to turn those uncomfortable conversations, especially with the people you like, into a conversation. Sometimes you can get up and say, "Hey, what's up? It's been a while. How are you doing?" You get on a call, you check in with them. Doesn't need to be help me right away. It's get on a call. How's the wife? How's the kids? How's life? Yes, this does take time, but you are also nurturing your network. Do a mix and matched approach, right? A little bit of applying, networking through the people that you know, networking with people that you don't know, community. Find your strategy, but lean in on your strengths. What works the best for you? In this current market, it's the people you know that will open doors for you. And I've talked to people that are introverted, and I've talked to people that are anxious about talking to others and that are scared. This is not the time to let your fears take over you. I've talked to people that are introverted that still connect. They spend time to recharge. But this is the time when you really truly need to get out of your comfort zone to get that opportunity. I mean, your livelihood kind of depends on it, right? Justin, checking
But
in on baby Shiloh and you. Everything good? She's
I'm just
asleep
like, yeah,
again?
I'm just listening. She's always asleep. She's fine. She just moves around in active REM sleep. So I'm hearing you say, no, we're talking about what to do on a daily strategy basis, right? So one thing the Job Father AI does is it builds out a week to week, 7 day strategy, job search strategy, which takes about 30 minutes to 2 hours a day, right? Gives you a checklist. And here, I just want to show you as an example of some things to do, right? This includes, DM, this is networking, networking, applying, and thought leadership, okay, in 1 week. So you want to DM 3 to 5 professionals that you in roles that you admire, right? Curious about plus complimentary. Don't ask anything yet, but just reaching out, right? Okay. Number two, you want to join some, like Netta said, 1 or 2 different Slack, Discord, LinkedIn groups that align with the roles you're seeking to land, right? Then you want to, the third checklist for that day is to register for an upcoming virtual cyber event or webinar, right? So that's just 1 day, and it only takes you about an hour and a half, if that. That way you can stick to everything else that you need to do in life outside of the job search, but you also know you've done something in your job search to move to give you forward momentum. The next day, personal story post plus coffee outreach. So post a light but real story post, right? Tag it with different hashtags. Message number two, message 2 local connections in Atlanta or in your local area for in-person coffee chats. Right. And these are people who you may know in your network, who you may have used to work with, college colleagues that you haven't seen in a while, so forth and so forth. The next day, event engagement and local networking. You want to attend any virtual events, webinars you sign up for. You want to DM 2 to 3 attendees after the event with personalized follow up. And you want to
This
RSVP to an
applies to in-person events too and conferences.
Yep. And then you want to, so this is virtual networking, and then you'll see your in person networking. RSVP to an upcoming in person local area. This person is from Atlanta, so it says Atlanta Tech Cyber Meetup, right? And it gives you places to check. So you can use AI, but like Ned is saying, create a daily checklist. Everything doesn't have to get done in 1 day. Spread it out throughout that week so that you can normalize having something to do, having a schedule, but also taking the time that you do have away from work to focus on the things that make you mentally happy, and even whether that's spending time with family and making time for yourself, right? And if you need help building your weekly strategy, please feel free to reach out.
The other thing I wanted to also mention for our audience that is currently employed, please don't wait till you get laid off. Maintaining your networking, personal branding. You buy insurance for your car and for your house. That's insurance for your career and your livelihood. So take the time, because the last thing you need is to get laid off and have no strategy, have no connections, and be scrambling and trying to figure out what to do. The other thing I wanted to also mention is In some countries, I know for a fact in the US, there is a law that companies are supposed to announce layoffs. I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if it's 30 or 60 days, but I did a Google search, company layoff 30 days sites, and I got some results.
I,
So
I,
try
I
to
have,
see if that is the same for your country.
I have to look that up. That's interesting information. Thanks, Netta. I'll definitely look that up. So I
Yeah,
know
you're
we're
welcome.
coming up on time here. Did you want to get to questions, or did you have another section you want to focus on before we?
We have someone else. Oh yeah. Kick said hello, so I just wanted to say hello back.
Hi, Kicks.
And hi there, it's nice to meet you again. Thank you. We met yesterday. And basically, I think we've covered it all. You need to do a mix and match approach, applying a little bit here. I know for a fact that someone I really look up to, Lawrence Lockhart, talked about easy apply, right? But don't go applying everywhere. Take the time to curate. And that's another thing we forgot to talk about, Justin,
What's
is
that?
the curation part. What's your take on people curating like down to the bone, down to the T for like a job they really want?
Hmm.
And if they don't have the time and they just want to apply here and there from time to time, or they want to apply, having how many resumes do they need ideally?
You should have one resume. You should have one main resume that you use to apply to the targeted roles that you decided on in the beginning. You shouldn't be applying if you are applying to roles where it's making you have two to three different versions. I would scrap that. Make sure you have a targeted approach. Now, when you do find that one role that you really, really want that speaks to you, yes, you should tailor and cater your resume specifically to that role. All right. But honestly, that should only be happening maybe once a week, once every other week. If you're being very realistic with yourself, there's not that many roles out there per week that's open that is a perfect match to you. When I say perfect, I mean like you have every bit of experience, you have everything you need, you really want that. That's when you should take the time to curate your resume specifically for that role. Outside of that, you should already have one tight, solid resume that, as long as you apply to the role that is within the realm of the role you targeted when building that resume, you shouldn't need to update it for every role.
There's two more things I would like us to bring up.
Yes, ma'am.
So we talked about ROI. There's people that absolutely want a job in the exact company, exact industry, exact job title. They're being too exact. But time goes by, they're applying, they're networking. And believe me, the longer you are without a role or a job or without income coming in, it'll affect not only your mental health, but those of you that are your dependents. It'll affect everyone. Please try to strike a balance, have a realistic expectations with yourself. I've talked to people that have been on the job hunt for months, like people with 25 years of experience, and they are barely getting any interviews. I told one of them, and Justin, this is my perspective, please feel free to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Because that person is married, he has dependents, his wife is working, but for how long can the other partner carry things for two, right? Once again, any advice we give is just our perspectives, but make it unique to your situation. We're brainstorming here together. I told him it's better sometimes to take two steps back, get a job, get income coming in, even if it's not exactly what you want. It doesn't need to be half of what you made before, but go back to a previous title you used to have before. So you didn't want to go back into being an IT director. I told him, get into that again, lean in with what you have, get that income coming in. When you have the job, yes, I know it's not what you want to do. You want to spend time with family. You want to do what you want to do. You want to do your weekend barbecues. I'm just speaking very generally. But when you get that job, you have something. Work on getting into a company and doing an internal transfer within that company to the role you want. So sometimes you can take a step back for the role, but focus on the company, get there and get promoted to the role that you want. Sometimes you take a step back to a role you used to do, which you may not entirely like, in a totally different industry, even to get the income coming in while you work on your brand, while you work on getting recertified, getting trainings, and so on and so forth to get to your next step. Because the ROI, the cost on you and your family for not having a job is going to be higher, way higher than not having one. That's the other thing I absolutely wanted to bring up. And I know for some it could affect their ego. They're like, oh, it's a downgrade. I'm worth more than this. And I've heard it, I've felt it.
Mhm.
But uh, everything comes at a cost, right?
Yes,
Anything else to add on that, Justin?
I agree. What I will say is again, be careful. While all of that is true, and while sometimes, I'll give you my example. I did do that a year ago, a year and a half ago now. Took a job way below what my normal pay would be. Company wanted me to come in 5 days a week on site, but again, we have a family, so forth and so forth. I took the job. Within 3 months, I was miserable. I didn't have time to continue to work on the job father brand or my own executive inquest brand because I had to work somewhere for 8 hours a day, even though I didn't really need to be there 8 hours. I was just there, which was a waste of time. But I couldn't work on my other brand. And then when I came home, I had to spend time with my family. So there was no time to do anything else. So what happens is I spent almost 8 or 9 months just becoming a more sad version of myself, not because I felt sorry for myself or because of my pride. I just didn't have time to be successful in the role that I was in, as well as have energy and time for my family, as well as build upon the brand. There wasn't enough time in the day, right? So I had to find another way to do something. So there's nothing wrong with taking less pay. I would rather use somebody if you don't like being in the office all day. If you're having the same issue I just gave you, find something where you can make money on your own terms. Drive Uber Eats, do Amazon delivery, do something. But just beware of going down that spiral. Everybody always says just get another job, swallow your pride. A lot of times it's not about pride, it's about the consumption of time and the rabbit hole of this rat race that you run right back into, trying to just provide from day to day, but not having enough time for yourself or for your family or for your mental health. And then what happens? The dream you was chasing just disappears. So just be careful, figure out what's for you. Never give up, because you still have to make money in the in between time from you landing the role you actually want. But just be very intentional about the steps that you do take. And that's what I would say.
Love that. Once again, we are brainstorming, we are providing different perspectives, right? You can
Mhm.
definitely, anyone can also do the Uber rides and the other kind of jobs to bring in some money. You could start also exploring freelancing, entrepreneurship. Once again, while you have a job, of course. But at the end of the day, each person's situation, ev- not two fingers are alike, right? Two individuals' circumstances and lives are different. So take everything that we have told you in today's live stream and make it your own. We have provided my circumstances are 180 degrees different than Justin's,
Mhm.
right? We come from two different countries. Canada and US have somewhat similar cultures, but there's still some differences as well. There's
Mhm.
social norms. There's so many things that every single person needs to audit and take into consideration. That's why we said in the beginning, sit down and mourn the loss, but don't do it forever. Just like Justin said, you need to be strategic with regards to your roadmap, but also with your time. The other thing I will say, and I got this from Lawrence Lockhart, is track your data. What I'm trying to say is, he said to track the jobs you apply for, to track the people you connect with. Track it. Data does not lie.
That's
Audit the
correct.
data. Find what works, find what doesn't, document, and pivot Everything doesn't need to be set in stone. The entire point is to pivot and to make switches and look at what other people are doing. In the process of going through your strategy, Justin said it earlier, work your way back up. So go to people's LinkedIn profiles that are where you want to be. Look at other people's journeys and use that as a source of inspiration for your own. Justin, I think we covered pretty much everything.
Yep.
Anything else that comes to your mind?
Nope. Just remember, guys, Ned and I are not giving you black or white options, this or that. We're giving you a number of options that we keep saying. Just because if you're different than from what I'm saying, it's okay. Be different. If you're different from what Ned is saying, it's okay. We are offering our opinions, our point of views, and I'm offering it from just sorry, not sorry, but point of views of many clients that I've dealt with and different situations that they've brought up to me, as well as my own personal experience. But I can guarantee you that each piece of information we gave you today has been valid. You got to plug and play and put it where it best works for you. And thank you for joining us on this Sunday.
Thank you. We had the quietest guest today, I must add, in the entire history of Career Files. And it's
Yes,
the first time we have a guest that is sleeping. And she is our youngest guest to date.
yes, she is. She's so precious, my
And she's
baby.
the cutest one too, I have to say.
Well,
She
thank
is
you.
precious. Well,
Thank
thank you, Justin, for making the time.
you.
Uh,
Of course.
you are someone who shows up, and thank you for showing up for the community. And I just wanted to say, I'm very proud of us. I'm
Yay.
proud of the collaborations we've made, of the people that are supporting the community,
Hmm.
and we are planning to expand as well on LinkedIn. Some exciting things coming your way. So, to our audience who's been supporting us, who's been attending our live streams on X, YouTube, LinkedIn, thank you so much. We have reached actually 531 members on X. We're
Now we need
working
to get
on
that to
a
LinkedIn. If all of you guys can also follow us on LinkedIn, that would be amazing. Please, if you've gotten any value from any of our streams, please just give us a follow on in our LinkedIn Unfeathered community. And please, because Netta does so much hard work, she's the greatest connector out there.
oh, so are you.
Well, no, we're talking about Netta though. She's a great, 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 great host, co-founder, and just a great all-around connector. The connector of people. Anybody you need to know, I can guarantee you she's one degree of separation away. So give us a follow, join the community so we can help each other rise together. And thank you again so much
Exactly.
for joining us on a Sunday, especially you,
Thank
Netta.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin. I hope your bundle of joy sleeps well. And for this, we will wrap up and we will see you all next week. Thank you so much for your time and
See you
stay
next
blessed,
week,
and
guys. Thank you. Have a
we
blessed
wish you the best on your search.